Hello and welcome to Talk It Out, where we talk it out. My name is Duryea Rashad, and I'm so happy that you all are here with me. The people who are here tonight are probably tired of looking at the news, okay? So we're about to have a good time. We're just about to talk shit and have a good ass time, all right? Now, if you haven't been to Talk It Out before, Talk It Out is a space where people of opposing views can get together and have a healthy, productive dialogue in a respectful way. Keeping in mind that it's not always about proving who's right and who's wrong. Sometimes it's simply about listening and being heard. Now, before we get into things, I want to remind you all to head over to our YouTube channel, Woe Nelly Media, WOE, and like and subscribe to our page. You can also like us on Facebook by searching Woe Nelly Media or WNM Talk It Out. Make sure you also listen to our audio versions of our episodes on anchor.fm/WNM Talk It Out. All right. Now, without any further ado, let's get to introductions. Let's start off with the returning panelist from my alma mater, Miss Sonnet Moore. Hey, Booski, what's up? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Dang it. I was so excited. I was like, woo!
Bro, it happens to everybody. Everybody. Hey, what's up?
I feel like in every meeting that I'm in. Sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty much the world right now. Everybody's been told they've been talking on mute at least twice. So Sonnet recently moved to Seattle, Washington from Columbus, Georgia after finishing her BA in theater at Columbus State University. She's a huge outdoors advocate and an avid hiker and a photographer with a heart for the arts. Sonnet works in communications for Mary's Place, a Seattle-based nonprofit that provides shelter and services for people struggling with homelessness. She loves her job and hopes to continue to work in the nonprofit world. You can follow Sonnet's personal Instagram at Sonnet and Sonnet with 2 N's. That's how it's spelled, like, anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love your name, by the way. It's so dope. I think it's cool.
So is yours, but thank you.
Thank you. It was tough growing up, though. Trust me.
Oh, I get it.
Man, children are creative when they're ready to insult you, man.
I mean, I was called Sonic the Hedgehog like for all of my elementary school years. It was really
they just went straight to diarrhea with me, so. All right, let's bring in another returning panelist. One of my one of my childhood friends from back in the me bicycling. All right, Miss Covia, how you doing, boo? What's up?
What's poppin'?
Nothing much. Look at you. Covia is 32 and has 2 daughters, one 6 and one 12. She's a stylist who specializes in natural hair and braids. You can follow her at Covy Styles on Instagram. That's COVISTYLES. You ready for the show tonight?
I'm ready. I'm always ready. Y'all are fun.
I'm excited to have you here. I'm gonna need to hear all your opinions on our topic tonight. We're talking about online dating.
Ooh, child.
I know, I'm excited.
Let's get into it.
Okay. Another childhood friend of mine, well, we were teenagers, so I guess we can't say it, but Sam, who is a realtor with 2 beautiful daughters. She has an edible business called Marley Bears that focuses on making THC-infused gummy bears, and she's a dancer, like a classical dancer, though. Before getting into real estate, she founded the dance department at a local Atlanta charter school. Besides dance, she also loves the water and is a mermaid at heart. Sam, welcome to the show.
Hey, y'all. Thank you for I had to unmute myself.
It happens. See, I told you it happens to everybody. What's up? How's your week been?
Well, it's my birthday week, so it's been interesting.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
But overall, I really enjoyed myself. I've had a great time.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So next, we're going to go to our final returning panelist. Now, this is a returning panelist that technically never left. He just moved to our sister podcast, Geeking Out, which next week, we're going to be talking about Buffy. We're going to be talking about Buffy, and anybody who knows anything about being a geek, if you don't know about Buffy, you can't call yourself a geek. I'm so sorry. But let's welcome back Julian to the panel. What's up, Julian?
Hey there, everyone. How are we doing today?
Everybody's good. Julian Ramirez is not a nerd who enjoys math and science, fantasy, and you said not a nerd?
Not a nerd. Well, you're supposed to.
Oh,
say
you're
the
trying to be
one
funny.
Yeah. And LAN parties. Well, that's throwback.
I know.
But certain nerds will know that one.
What's a LAN party?
Oh, that's like back in the day before, like when everything was dial-up, you had to like connect your computer to directly to another computer, and you play your video games that way. Yeah,
me and my best friend were talking about that today. Like kids in today's like lifestyle, they don't understand what it was like to get in an argument because somebody was on the phone while you was trying to get on the internet.
Oh my god, terrible time.
Okay, he rather loves dogs and cats, bananas, and the soft sounds of Sia. Soft. Okay. He is looking for the value of X, Miss San Diego, and the meaning of life. You're too much. Okay. All right, let's get to some of our new panelists. Now, the first guy I'm going to bring on because I was like going back and forth, I was like, yeah, give me your introduction blurb. And he's like, I don't know what to write. So what he wrote was, Davila, here to learn and exchange ideas. Straight to the point. I like it.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm gonna get a feel for this, and I'm excited.
It's always a good time. We have good people here, great energies. Okay.
I took a shot CBD, so I'm ready.
Oh, everybody turned up. Okay. So now a new panelist is a buddy of mine from the military. It's been a long time since I've seen him. His name is James. Let's welcome him to the show. James, what's up?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's pretty good. Now, James is from, is it Duluth?
It is, yeah.
They have a Duluth in Georgia, Duluth, Minnesota, and is currently living in the Twin Cities, which is Minneapolis.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
He manages a small startup company that mostly caters to various manufacturers in the Midwest. He's not a fan of online dating. He just had the preference. He had to lead with that.
I didn't know.
I mean, is anybody a fan of it, or is it a necessity? But that's later. All right, and this final panelist, I've been trying to get this woman on my panel for probably since I've had this show, because this is one of my favorite people, my most favorite people. She's one of my first best friends, and she's the funniest lady I know. I'm hyping her up so she gonna get all nervous. But this is my auntie, everybody. So y'all give her a warm welcome, like my blood auntie, my auntie Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda.
You didn't have to say all that.
You know I love you.
Hey, everybody. Hey, y'all. I'm probably the oldest one on here, too. But, hey. And I love online dating.
We need everybody's opinion.
Versatility, yes. You got a nice, diverse little cast of characters on tonight's show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, before we head into our main topic for the night, how about we do some commercials? All righty. Hello, everyone. All right, it's time for current events. So how can we really do this show tonight without talking about what we all don't want to talk about? Okay. So this is, and I guess the reason I want to talk about it anyway is because it's so funny. It's so hilarious, bro. I've never seen anything funnier than what's happening right now. Like, people, I'm in a Beyonce group, And they was like, hey, they were basically telling us like, it's just people from overseas was telling us that the hives on this side of the world better get stuff together, and people in Canada looking at us crazy. And it's just interesting how like the entire world is literally on pins and needles right now. Not just America, the entire world is waiting for the results of the election. Specifically my home state, which blows my freaking mind. Like
I am shook. Like I'm over here in Seattle and everyone's like, Sonic, you're proving Georgia wrong. Like Georgia is like, what is happening? And I'm like, honestly, I have no idea.
Pretty much.
I love it.
Me too. I'm like losing my mind. I'm so excited.
Well, it speaks to a lot of, listen, it speaks to the reason why this show exists. I think people as a whole are getting tired of like not being heard, for one, being taken for granted, and also being thought that we're sheep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody really agrees that there should be just two parties, I don't feel.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody's ideals line up with just, you know what I'm saying?
I seem to find that a lot of the older, sorry, no, go ahead.
No, please.
I was gonna say the older generation, I find in my experience, actually, you know, the older generation that I encounter more often are actually for the two-party system still. They're like, you know, they're for whichever party they're for, and that's their party. But like that's kind of how they've been ingrained and how they've been raised. I feel like, you know, it's more like their loyalty is always to the party, but it not necessarily what the party actually stands for half the time, you know.
Right, like they don't like, but that it's to me that is, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but that is the difference to me between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. I feel like the Democratic Party is a group of people, like it's not the politicians, it's the people who are putting these people in office. I feel like Democrats, when they put somebody in office, after they get them in office, it's like, all right, now do all the shit you said you was gonna do. But with Republicans, it feels like once they're in office, they just, whatever you say, they're just gonna go for it. And whether it's right or wrong, like I've seen people like say something was crazy and then a leader does it and then they're like, oh, that's not crazy. I mean, has anybody else noticed something like that?
Yeah. No, it's true.
Yes, and like both sides, when it gets pointed out, nobody wants to.
Yeah. Well, I think what's crazy is that, and this has been something that I've seen like online quite a bit, especially throughout the last couple of months, is that who you're nominating, like who your person is, like whether it's Joe Biden or Donald Trump, like we need to remember that the person that we're putting in office currently as a Democrat, like I voted for Joe Biden. I'm not afraid to talk about that. And like, we're not like putting him in because he's like the perfect match. It's like your candidate, your president is a vehicle to like where you want to go. It's not the destination. It's the vehicle. Like you're in a vehicle, you're going somewhere. Like Joe Biden is our vehicle right now. And like, you gotta get in the car. You gotta get in the car to get to where you want to go.
But I challenge everybody who's watching, who will watch or listen, like follow through. Like it's crazy. It's beautiful that this election has the most votes for any election ever in the history of our country. Any election. Wow. But that's not where the work stops. The work doesn't stop by, you know, I've been watching these videos online. Have y'all seen that girl, that black girl I think she's in Florida, and she gets up with her cell phone and literally just says, I'm not here to be nice or to be liked, and just reads everybody. Y'all haven't seen that video?
No.
What I like about that video is she's at like a city council type meeting, Joan. It's not just, I'm gonna vote for the president and then, you know what I'm saying? It's way more than that. And people aren't, I feel like that's what people do. It's like they come, they vote, and then that's it.
Absolutely. You can't just only vote in the presidential election. And it is incredibly important, but there's like elections all year round. All year round. They're for your county, they're for your town, they're for your state, they're for your region, it's for your district, 1,000 things. There's like, you know, it is daunting because it's a lot of things that not everyone has time to go and research, and a lot of people that you don't always have time to like go and research either. But they are still important, you know, to at least be a little bit aware of them. You know, you see the signs all the time. I mean, you drive around your town and you see like the local politician signs. Like those are the same elections that you should be putting this exact same energy into.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like as people, sorry.
No, please. I talk a lot. Please.
Well, I feel like just as people get older and have a family, that's when they get interested in local elections. That's when like your city council actually matters, right? That's when like the judges in your town, which is like a huge thing that people don't know about, is who's their actual judge, what do they stand for, what are their policies. Those little things like that, where it doesn't take a lot of people to get them elected, but they have such an impact on your community.
Exactly.
But I feel like you just kind of let that go by the wayside until you actually have settled down and set roots in an area.
See, it's crazy to me because I was in jail when I found out that sheriffs were elected.
Hey, that's what I was gonna say.
I was in jail like shit. Look,
that's what I was gonna say. A lot of people don't realize. A lot of people don't realize the impact. That might be true that people don't start caring until they have families, but it's because they don't realize the impact that it has at the local level.
Yes,
the DAs, the sheriffs, all of that. All this stuff happening with the police and all of that. The DAs are the first people to even decide if they're going to prosecute or not.
That's right.
Not
which
even
is
if
crazy.
you are guilty or not. Just
decide if they're gonna prosecute.
Yeah.
Which means, which then also says that they have the power not to. Which then calls into question every case that actually is taken versus thrown out.
Exactly.
That's my point. And so a lot of people didn't understand. You don't vote for the sheriffs. You don't vote for the DAs. You don't vote for the local people. Yeah, you are going to see cops walk on murder.
That's right.
You are going to keep having these racist legislations in place.
Rhonda, let me ask you a question. Oh, I'm sorry.
And honestly, that's a failing of the school system, I think, the education system.
Yeah.
But education that gets cut every year.
Let me ask a question real quick because I want to respond to that. I want to respond to what you said, Julian, earlier about when you said that older generation, votes with the party line. I was thinking about my grandma today because my grandma's a very smart woman. Now, I think because how old she is and when she grew up, she's absolutely going to vote every time. She's not going to not vote. You understand? Because, the stuff she saw and went through, she's going to vote. I don't necessarily feel like that she votes with the party. I just feel like Republicans never are saying things she wants to hear.
But then does she ever listen to like the Green Party members or the Libertarians or the
I can't speak to that. I personally can't speak to that.
That's my point though. It's like we always kind of stick to the two main hitters.
Because that's what comes on TV, right?
Yeah, and we go with which one aligns with us better, but there's possibly a third, fourth, fifth option that is even more along your lines.
Right. So then, all right. So Rhonda, since you said you are older, I don't think my auntie, so beautiful. How do you feel about that? Like when you hear, do you look into libertarian candidates, Green Party candidates, or anything like that?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
Do you even like pay attention to what Republicans be saying?
Not really.
Don't worry, it's not much.
But let me wait. But why?
Not much anyway.
Why though? Like, why not even entertain it though? Maybe they gonna say somebody. Because you have to listen to this, Rhonda. A lot of people who were Republican, who voted Republican 4 years ago, did not this time.
Well, I always listen at your mom.
Oh my God! Don't do that.
Well, that's
don't do that.
It's everywhere.
Don't do that. No. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, like I feel like I try to listen to both. Now, it's difficult to listen to both when one side is so erratic and just nonsensical. It's like, bruh, like.
But I think that's the point. I think that's the point.
What do you mean?
Both is that it really contrasts how erratic the other side is, and that's really why the other side, people who support the other side and don't listen elsewhere need to, because then it'll be stark and clear just how erratic what you've been listening to really is, and how contradictory it is. Like, I'm sorry, but like people, like there's a lot of older generation who like are dedicated to their news stations, and I kind of am gonna go to Fox News viewers. They love Fox News, but Fox News is retracting statements left, right, up, down, center. All the time, once a year. I just read an article. Article just said that they just had a whole scandal with Pattinson, whatever the hell his name is. Like, and their whole stance is, well, you should know that what we're saying isn't going to always be true, and that you shouldn't really be believing everything that we spout at you, basically. Yet that's exactly what they do. That's what you tell them to. And that's exactly what the flag they lead under, even though like their policy on the low says that, oh, disclaimer, you don't have to actually listen to us, kind of thing. And it's like, so do you think irksome?
So when you have these problems, like, do you guys think that the news stations are like actually corrupt in the sense that they only show parts of the story? Or that they have just mass amounts of information. Well, because we have all. Sorry, what?
No, you can like skew. You can be misleading with information. You can make false correlations. You can throw up numbers that look like they mean something but don't actually, and then say, and make a false inference from that. There's so many that's why like every time they put up facts and graphs and things, Fox News is actually terrible for it, because they always do that. They put up a graph that is actually that shows something entirely different, and they make an entirely left like wild correlation off of it. So it's like, it's that data is there and it's available, but it's just right now we're not being very objective in most of your news sources, to be honest. Most of your especially your common ones, your big name common ones, none of them are particularly objective.
Do you feel like I feel like this? I feel like the question when it comes to me and looking at the media is motive. Like, okay, my understanding from Ron Burgundy is that people reported the news to make sure that the masses were informed about what was really going on. Like, that's why a person would go into, doing news, So when a news channel or whatever, network, is pushing out false information, that makes me immediately go, well, what are they getting out of that? You know what I'm saying? Like what's the benefit of misleading people just because you can? And I don't think and so to me, it either strikes me as one, they actually believe it, which I actually prefer. At least you believe it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't believe it and you're just, that's crazy. But at least if you believe it, that's why I can kind of stomach Candace Owens. Because I feel like she believes a lot of the stuff she be talking about, which makes me feel like, okay, you're just going in the head. She's not trying to actually be misleading. But a lot of these news networks, I think that they're actively trying to be misleading for the purposes of let me put it this way. The stuff people blame others for is probably the stuff they're doing. So when a certain candidate is always blaming other candidates of being in bed with the news and the media, that's probably because they're the ones that are actually doing that.
Or maybe, I don't know, when
rather they all are doing it, to be perfectly honest.
I guess to take it down to what is happening literally currently on the TV over there, when a certain candidate is saying that votes are skewed and not legal and wrong and inaccurate and shouldn't be counted, and saying that the left the other side is screwing with the election. That's literally how can you say that when you're telling people? It's just this whole thing with Fox News and people who watch Fox News, and it's just people aren't going to stop watching. It's entertainment. It's an entertainment company. Fox News is an entertainment company. It's not actual factual news. It is entertainment. I have family members who watch Fox News and swear by Fox News, and it's just talking points. It's not, there's nothing factual going on. And what's funny, I'm going to get off of this, whatever pedestal that I'm on right now. I don't know what the right word is, but what's funny is that soapbox, there it is, off of the soapbox. What's funny is that during this election, Fox News was the only, besides the Associated Press, and Fox News is the only news media conglomerate that called Arizona in Biden's favor, right? They're the only ones who said Biden has Arizona, which means that if Biden were to get Nevada, if Biden were to get Pennsylvania, if Biden were to get Georgia or South Carolina, Fox News would be the only company that would call Biden as the winner. Is that not crazy to you? Like Fox News would be the only one. They would have to say Biden wins because if he won any other state, he would be at 270. I just find that very interesting.
It was actually on the list for current events that I had. So see how that works out. See how we do things. Oh my God, they're dropping like flies. What's happening, everybody? What's going on? Where's the panel? All right. They'll come back. It happens. We have technical difficulties. All right. So before we head into our next, we're going to stay in this political realm for a minute because I want to talk about some progressive things that have happened. And when I say progressive, I don't necessarily mean like politically progressive. I just mean more so like we're getting out of the rigidity that our country is stuck in, where everything has to be one way and it can't change. So the first ever transgender woman, if I'm correct, was elected into Congress. No, Senate.
Yes.
Her name is Sarah McBride. And there's also the first openly gay black men, because being an openly gay black man in politics is ridiculous. Richie Torres, who's Afro-Latinx, and Mondaire Jones, and I hope I'm saying that right. And I just wanted to point that out for a moment, just to say, it's nice to see that when the George Floyd thing happened, because Tamir Rice, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, like it happens a lot. It felt like, okay, it happened again. It's going to be a ruckus and then it's going to go away. But I guess watching the way that everything just happened in these elections gives one hope that there is potential for permanent change, and even if it's not necessarily in ideology, at least it will be in acceptance of other people to live as they want to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to agree, but you don't have to kill me because you don't. And I think that a lot of times that gets lost in translation, especially when I talked about this a few episodes ago. It was 32 trans women who were murdered, trans people, sorry, who were murdered. Since that episode, it's now 34. And like I said, the number is 34 because they don't have a well-rounded number because of all the unreported deaths, or the people whose family then misgender them after they've been murdered. So they're not listed as trans. So having said that, I just wanted to make a point to say that it's nice to see that there's room for people to live their truth. And I'm going to talk about Amy Conan, Amy Barron. The reason I want to talk about her, yes, because apparently the first case she's supposed to preside over is an LGBTQ rights case, which I thought, how about that? You know, Trump is already calling for the Supreme Court to file a lawsuit, and now the first thing she does is go into this. Do y'all think she's actually going to be fair?
No,
presiding over this case. You don't think so?
No,
I have hope. I have hope.
Trump appointed her. Anyone, like, name one person objective in their position. Name one. Please, just one person. Just one of them.
It's like
there's not one. Like,
if you really are the kind of person who is about the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're about the Constitution, you're about the Constitution. That's black and white. It's the Constitution. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Bam. Period. You know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of people who, despite their personal beliefs, when it comes to that Constitution, they're always down for what the Constitution says, period. So that's why I have hope that she's one of those type of people. It's like, yeah, I don't personally agree, but the Constitution says it. So boom. What y'all think?
I feel like
Well, even that sometimes is too much. Like you have to, there still has to be there has to be room for interpretation there, because the Constitution does say a lot of things that at the same time we're like, okay, we need to roll back on, we need to still fix. See, like guns are in the Constitution, that is a constitutional right. But the amendment here that we're mostly looking for is gun control, is that you don't have AK-47s in the hands of other people, you know, like yeah, you need that for regular use, you know, in the city of Patterson. Like,
well, no, the argument about that is that the Second Amendment doesn't just give you the right to bear arms; it gives you the right to bear arms specifically for protecting yourself against a tyrannical government. In which case, a handgun is not going to do it. So that is why,
to be honest, none of them are going to do it. But
I mean, I'm not. We're not having that conversation. Not today. Oh, y'all trying to get me shut down. I don't know nothing. I don't know who. I don't know where I'm at no more. But I just think that like amendments have been made. I don't know the Constitution like the back of my hand, but the amendments that I understand that have been made were generally because like, okay, the founding fathers created the document, but the basis of the document was, I believe, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. And anything that they had set that they realized later was infringing upon that, they amended. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms, the vote, women's suffrage, emancipation. Was that one? Yeah,
I feel like I should know that.
But essentially that's what happens. So you have, that's why when it gets to the Supreme Court, that's what happened with Brown versus the Board of Education. They basically said, well, actually, no, separate is not equal. So, and by the terms of the Constitution, and I'm pretty sure some of those dudes were, or the people who voted on that probably didn't like black people. Let's be honest. I mean, not then, but it wasn't constitutional, especially since they were, there were no longer 3/5 of a person. So there's people out there who are Constitution buffs, and they're about that life when it comes to anything on that paper. Bendis, you keep nodding your head. Say something.
Dude, so I love Amy Coney Barrett. All right, so I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh no.
Yes. 100%.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The whole panel.
Okay.
The whole panel's been shifted.
That's okay. So look.
I mean, never mind.
I've watched a lot of her videos, right? Because like before you judge someone, you got to at least listen to what they have to say.
Okay.
And you can say like, oh, well, people can just shift things or they can put on a persona. But for hours and hours at a time, it's pretty difficult. And you can usually see bias bleeding through. And you can see a little bit, but you can also see like, I feel like a lot of her objectivism. And then you can just look at, I watched a video where she actually talks about like, how she grew up and how she, how she's handles her kids and her actual story as a person, right? And after like hearing her perspective on constitutionalism versus pragmatism, right? Which is like, people like to say like, oh, well, that's an issue going back to English common law. But beyond that, right, is that you have to at least treat someone like a person first before you're going to say, well, they're just a parrot of Trump or they're just a parrot of the right. Like,
but she's. I just don't find her
let him say it.
people.
Let him say it.
I'm sorry.
And then you can get in there. Go ahead, James.
No, it's important. I want to hear what you have to say.
Look, you got to treat someone like an individual before you judge them, right? Before you judge them as someone on the right or just someone on the left. Like, that's not fair to them because you don't look at yourself that way. Right. You don't sit there and be like, well, this person's a tool of the right, even though they dedicated their whole life to interpreting the Constitution and teaching and like trying to make the world a better place in their own way, right? And you can disagree about that, but I think I look at her as a morally conscious person. I think she does have I don't think she has an agenda. I understand the faith argument. I understand that like, hey, she's Catholic. She's gonna rule by that, but I've heard her talk about issues like flag burning and how that is a constitutional right. I heard her rule on a case where a man who was a felon, right, should have his Second Amendment right protected because it wasn't like a violent act or anything like that. And so, but I mean, if you look back 20, 30 years ago, that'd be unpopular on the right. if you look back 20, 30 years ago and Republicans were like, no, felons shouldn't have guns. That's crazy, no matter what their offense was. And so I do think that she's going to put an honest effort, and the best thing that we can hope for in our politicians and the people in our government in those positions of power is that at least they don't have, like, at least they're not corrupt, right?
Okay.
And I don't think she's corrupt.
Sonic.
I mean, that's a fair perspective, and I'm not knocking you for your like personal opinion on a specific, Supreme Court judge. However, like, she wants to take rights away from like a lot of people, including people like me, a woman, and she wants to, like, as far as I've read, she like literally wants to reverse Roe v. Wade, and like, I'm sorry, I can't, like, it's hard to support someone like that. And maybe I should do more research on her. Maybe I should give her a chance. There's probably a lot that I don't understand about her, her rulings and like who she is and her background and everything like that. But it's just hard to know like what's coming up with her and like what's on the precipice, and like how many people I know and love are going to like not even be able to be married to the person that they love because of something that she potentially wants to change and is going to like rule in favor of changing. And so like that makes it hard for me because it directly affects me and it directly affects the people that I love. And I think that it was kind of a disgrace to our RBG to bring her in. Like
right now, I don't think they should have did it that way.
It was just such an obvious move by the Trump administration and by Republicans to like, it was such an abrupt and like, just it was clearly it was clearly something like swearing her in so quickly was clearly an intentional choice and an intentional choice to hurt people and take people's rights away. And like, that's not cool. Like, why not wait? Why not wait and let people vote? Like, why not wait and let the new president come in and make that choice?
Right. So I totally see that point. Right. And I'm not saying that they should have elected her.
Yeah.
But they did. And well, here's the thing.
But it happened, so.
But like, that's part of the game of politics that we're living in now, is that I don't feel like either side is giving, is going to sit there. Like, if the Democrats were in power right now, right, and there was election time, do you think that they would wait as well?
Let me ask you a question.
They would, because they have historically.
They did before. Like, we play by the rules, dude. We're trying. Like,
Obama did not get his election in the year that he was getting reelected or losing.
When he was
not office.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And the tradition, first of all, the tradition was set by Republicans, first of all, to block Democrats from actually appointing a judge back when it was first established.
That's the part right there.
So here we are coming full circle that this is something that Republicans began in the first place, and now they're of course going to go back on it when it suits them. But when it doesn't suit them, then they're going to be the first ones to enforce this tradition that they themselves created just so that they can, block a power move from not even a power move, to block a move from a Democrat. Meanwhile, what we know from experience from our current regime is that they only make power moves when they make appointments like this, and especially to the Supreme Court, and especially when we can see what her agenda is going forward on certain key issues that the party, the 45, the regime is also standing behind. She's standing behind them in the same way. Obviously, she's not being objective.
So because she took the nomination, she's not being objective.
Not saying that she did.
Yes,
by the rules.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because let's be clear.
That's a fair point. Look, if you want to make that point, that's fine.
Well, this is what I would say. It's like this. I can't think of an example. I almost had one and then it ran from me. But it's like that. Like, sometimes you have to have honor. Like, you have to say, like, well, no, because if I do this, then that blurs all the lines. So my question is this: because they've done that, because the Republicans did what they did, there's no more rules. They can't pull that the next time because they just basically said they reached for power and they got it.
Yeah,
but now
an election year, they can't.
Right, but now the problem is this. The problem is this. If the Democrats decided that they want it to be dirty, then then where does it stop? It has to stop because somebody behaves like an adult. Hey, y'all know we're the leaders of this country, right? And we got nuclear bombs and stuff, so we should probably, figure out how to operate. Which actually brings me to my next question. How do y'all feel about term limits? Actually, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I changed my mind. Did you want to say something?
On senators? Yes, term limits on senators.
Yeah, I'm talking about specifically senators.
Yes, absolutely. They need
because
them.
That is actually something I've noticed that everybody on both sides is really in favor of. Why are you in favor of it so much?
Because why is an 80-year-old fucking man still making decisions about things about today? An 80-year-old rich man who's entirely out of contact with people of today making decisions for our future.
Right.
And have been doing it.
I agree with Julian. You gotta get people who are already part of the struggle within the same climate, right? You can't expect somebody to hold the same climate with people he knows nothing about.
I agree with that part. I think that to me was the big thing. The out of touchness of once you're a career politician, that's all you know.
Yeah.
That's what it becomes.
It becomes about the issues. It's not really about the people anymore. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, your photo op with a group of people that you've set up isn't showcasing me anything, to be perfectly honest. Nothing genuine. So let's, make some changes here.
Okay. That I did want to talk about that, but I didn't want to expound upon that because this is actually what I want to talk about before we head into our main topic. All right. So the other day I was online and what happened? So I saw a picture. It was a picture of these two little kids and they were doing the chair. The chair is where you put your back on the wall and you sit like you're in a chair, but Sam nods her head because as a dancer, that was what you did when you were in trouble. You did the chair. And so you had to sit there in the chair. So, and then there was a picture of it, and, they were crying, the kids were crying. And the caption was something like, instead of whooping them, this is how we punish them. And the blowback that I got from posting that post was astronomical, in my opinion. But some of it was actually I understood some of it. One of my friends said, it wasn't the chair part that was bad. It was the aspect of the taking the picture, posting it online kind of thing, which I disagree with because of today. Like that's how you punish kids today is the social media thing. You don't punish them just like that. You seen the video with the girl who the son was talking too much in class, so she shaved the middle of his head to George Jefferson. Yeah, her son was acting up in class, so what she did was she took him and got she said she want to act grown, so she got the middle of his head shaved and made him go to school like that, like George Jefferson.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So I want to talk about disciplining children. Because we've got three children, three parents here. I think at least three. Does anyone else have kids besides Sam, Rhonda, and Kobe here? All right. Okay. So we can have a conversation. So all the people without kids telling the people who actually have kids what y'all need to be doing with your own kids. All right. So I feel like I'm not opposed to spankings, but some people are opposed to spankings because they feel like it teaches that violence is an acceptable response to anger, frustration, et cetera, et cetera. I personally never felt abused as a whooping, but I know some people who have. So let's just start there and
for me, I think it's based on what the intent and what the emotion is. Like you're just lashing out, right? And you're just abusing, that's abuse. But if you're trying to teach a lesson and there's like an end point, I think that kind of discipline's okay. Like I spank my kids and I explain to them why. But I don't spank them too hard, right? It's not like I don't use it as a way to release my stress.
Right.
Other times,
that's real shit. That is real.
I can't
Y'all
do
are
this.
laughing, but that's real. Like that's real.
It is real. Like, I mean, it happened to me as a kid, so that's kind of like
Yeah,
why I
that's
kind of take it
It's not
seriously.
honestly
And
funny.
when I talk, my daughter is like, she can speak. She's 5 years old, and sometimes she amazes me with what she says. But like sometimes I don't have to spank her, and I just kind of tell her, "Hey, I'm disappointed." And she goes, "Why, Daddy?" And then I tell her why, and then she kind of gets sad, and then she comes up with her own solution. And that to me, that's more valuable than me just getting upset and spanking her.
It's interesting you say that because I told you I got a lot of blowback. One of the girls that I got blowback from, I'm not sure if we had a misunderstanding or what, because we've literally never had an issue with one another before. But basically, she was saying that consequences happen naturally, and so she's not, and maybe I'm misquoting, but she doesn't really prefer punishment because punishment happens naturally, or there's natural consequences to your actions. Which, as a, I study Buddhism, so yes, I understand that. But I also feel like if you set up a pattern for if that your actions lack direct retribution, then people then have a bad relationship with authority as they grow up. And so basically I said, and I think this is where we got our hairs crossed, me and her. Or I think she thought I was questioning her parenting skills, which I wasn't. But I was basically saying, if you don't teach your kids punishment, then they turn around and be murderers, because I feel like that's how they get that way. Right. And that apparently was like, out of left field. But do y'all feel like there's a direct link between lack of punishment and criminal behavior?
Yes.
Sonic?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe,
and not necessarily between corporal punishment, but punishment in general.
What corporal punishment means? A spanking? Is that what it means? Corporal punishment.
I know.
Yeah, because
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Actually, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm gonna make it really quick.
You're good.
She says, I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people whose parents, I know a specific person who used to be in my life, is not anymore, whose parents never disciplined him.
Okay.
Ever. Even as like a high schooler, he never got in trouble. His actions had zero consequences. And I genuinely feel like this human being is going to murder someone one day. Like, I do think a direct correlation. If you do not punish your children, whether that's spanking, whether that's timeout, whether that's, whatever that may be, like, you're teaching your child to grow into an adult that feels that they can take advantage of anyone, do anything. Like, the world is theirs. They don't have to apologize. Like, and that's toxic. That's like so toxic. And unfortunately, it's toxic, and it's showing them that
Lacovia. Let me ask. I want to hear from Lacovia and Rhonda. I done had a Rhonda whooping, so I already know we can get to her.
You want to hear from me?
Yeah, because Lacovia, you look like you whoop somebody's ass.
I do. I believe spare the rod, spoil the child.
Hello, Kobe. You better say it, Kobe.
I definitely agree in discipline. I don't believe in excessive, like, I'm going to spank you, but it's not going to last 15, 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to give you a few licks, it's going to hurt, and you're going to understand the problem and how we're going to fix it.
Amen. You better say it, girl.
Me, children we have to stop treating our kids like they're stupid. And people who don't discipline their kids, I feel like you're saying they can't understand the problem. They don't know that they know what they did wrong. If they wrote on my wall, they knew they wrote on my wall. They don't see me writing on no walls. So they deserve to get their ass whipped for that.
One of the things that I really hate to see is when a parent verbally abuses their kids and calls them idiots, stupid.
Yes.
That really hits me hard.
I don't like that.
There's no
isn't it crazy? Because it's crazy to me that we all just had that response.
Yeah.
Because that shit hurts. Like, I don't think I could be present for nobody talking to their kid like that. And I don't really be out here really interfering with other people with their children because I don't have them. But like, bro, like when you talk to your kids like that, when your parent says something like that to you, that stays with you forever.
Ever.
Ever. Like, you'll take that into every relationship you have, every job interview. Man, that's a good point. Okay, Rhonda. Now, I feel like, I see you, Sam, but I feel like this. Rhonda had 3 children and 3 nephews. Now, I don't feel like Rhonda didn't really spank me. One thing I remember Rhonda doing, and I used to get on my nerves, when we'd be in church and I'd be acting up, she'd say, sit down right here, sit down. And she make me sit next to her and she put her arm like this and just pinch a little bit of skin.
Yeah.
A little bit of skin. And say, if you don't act like you got some damn sense. And then she let me go. But she never spanked me. It was just a little pinch. Now, and I never seen you spank Macy or Martin.
Right.
So how did you do it? Because I will say this: Macy and Martin and Terry, they're very well behaved. They're very well behaved. They're responsible. They're resourceful. They're well regulated. Somebody had to get a whooping.
They've been whooped. I didn't like.
Rhonda, scoot to this way. That a little bit. There you go. There you go. No,
y'all know. Okay,
Rhonda.
y'all know I'm old school with this. Now I don't know what to do.
Move to your right. Move to your left. Move to your left. Move to your left.
To the left, y'all don't see me. Let me go over here.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, you're right.
I'm over here trying to drink my beer too. Okay.
Drink your
beer. I have my wine, girls. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody drinking. I was wondering why she was leaning. I said, why she leaning?
Okay, well, see, James drinking water.
Oh, I got my water too. Don't worry, but
gotta mix them.
I thought y'all was real conservative. I thought y'all was real conservative on here, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, oh, and Duryea, he know.
Oh yeah,
that's why tonight. He know I'm getting to it. He know I'm getting to it. Okay, up to it, down to it. Shit. Anyway,
I love my family.
All my children have had a whooping. But I, as a child, I was beat down. I'm talking about I got like ass tore out in the frame. So I didn't want to raise my children like that. So I did a lot of talking, which I do now. I do a lot of talking, and I do strong talking. I don't, I don't beat around the bush. I don't make it cute. I just say what I got to say, deal with it, and that's it. And I don't use no like weapons, not weapons, what do you call them? Like, I use switches because that's what I'm old school. I was brought up on switches. Switches make you remember shit. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
You know what's bad? Oh my God, she right though.
Oh yeah, switches, that shit is like electricity.
Oh my God.
So once you whoop a child with a switch one time, you ain't got no more problem. No more problem.
Honestly,
these new day parents, they be walking around talking about, I need to talk to you. Talk to you about what? What are we talking about? You did wrong, I'm gonna beat your ass. Plain and simple.
And it's worse when they tell you to go get the switch.
Oh yeah. I said I was brought up like that.
That's throwback.
My grandma said, "Go get the switch and don't bring me that little." She said, "And don't bring me."
That's what as soon as you said that,
she said, "Don't bring me one. You got to bring two."
The thing, as soon as Rhonda said that, because her grandma is my great grandmother, and I'm so blessed to have known her as much as I did. But grandma was when it came to a switch, and you don't try to run. Because then the switch somehow became extendo. And it would chase you around the corners. Man, Sam, all right, tell us about your discipline.
Just like it's electric. It just shocks you.
Absolutely.
It's like being hit with a taser. And that's what I tell these children nowadays. You can let me do it, or you can let the damn police do it. Who you want to do it? I ain't gonna kill you. I'm just gonna beat your ass, and we're gonna talk about it, and it's over. And that's what a lot of parents today are not doing. I was coming down this popular street in Atlanta today called Northside Drive. And you got these, I'm going to say between 12 and 15, they selling water. And they got guns. So if you don't buy the water, they talk shit to you. They got guns. Where y'all mamas at? Where y'all mama? What are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? But see, they not being disciplined. They're not being told, you can't do that. I don't know. These new day parents, I don't understand them.
I
don't know what they doing.
You just said.
Hold
Come on, Julian, tell me what you think.
You know what it was? Okay, when you said, oh God, crap, no, I just lost it. Oh, no, you said no, so I was like, put it on hold, and now it's
come back to it, Julian. Sam, come back to it, Julian. Sam, let me hear from, because I want to hear from you and Davila.
Well, okay, so I've been a teacher. I have been a high school teacher for 4 to 5 years. So
okay,
I had to not only, and I have a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Wow.
And fortunately,
your 12-year-old is a girl or boy?
They're both girls.
Wow.
And yeah,
Namaste.
so right. So first thing I want to say about discipline is I don't necessarily think it's the consequence as much as it is the consistency. And I mean, yes, you know, it does. It all matters, obviously, but
right.
You know, if you are consistent with whatever it is,
yeah,
and it is in some way affected, like in some way it means something to the child, then that is what I think is more important than anything.
Yeah.
And
that makes an impact positively.
Right, and I worked in a high school, and people were like, "You worked in a high school,
heart, girl." Woo!
But you know what? I had the best relationship with like, I don't work there. I'm in real estate now, but I miss the kids. Like, they made my day. The kids made my day.
They usually do. I did childcare for 20 years. So
but you know why? I can tell you, Sam, why kids like you. It's because of this. And this is actually why I like Miss Nikki so much. Because Miss Nikki didn't treat me like a child. Sometimes people treat children like children instead of like people, not adults. I'm not saying treat them like adults, but just treat them like people.
They're little people.
Yeah, and so sometimes when an adult talks to a child, I'm sorry,
they talk
teen,
down.
Yes, but when you actually give time to actually just acknowledge them as an equal human being, that is impactful, and they don't know what to do with it. They don't even understand it at the time.
Right.
They just know for some reason they can talk to you. They can be this not child. And you've always been that way though, Sam. So that's my assumption. I ain't never seen you in the classroom, but that's my assumption.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. But I say that, I'm saying that to say, like, if discipline is done consistently and with love and what was the other one? Shit. Consistency, love. I forgot the other one. Come back to me. But if you do it with that, then the child will always know it's coming from a good place.
Right.
And with my kids right now, thankfully, I haven't ever had to like I popped them. You know what I'm saying? I do think it's certain things as like a kid, hot stove. Sometimes kids don't understand, like a quick pop, you know what I'm saying? So I have done stuff like that, but as they've gotten older, I've had to do less and less of that. I think I'm praying, and hopefully this is not the case, but maybe as my girls get into their teenagers, I might have to do the little switch thing real quick. But
the switch thing.
No, when they're teenagers, what you got to do is start taking stuff. Take it. Now, I don't have children, but I already have set. When I have kids, I already know what the discipline is going to be. They're going to go everywhere with me because I can't stand when my mama take me places. Good Lord.
Whatever.
Oh man, have you ever went shopping with mama? Oh my God, it takes all day.
Of course.
Oh my God.
And you get cussed out in the process.
Every minute. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just do my mom to my kids. They'll act right. Or I like when parents go to school with their children. That's the best. And sit with the kid at school. That's the best. Davila?
Well, for me, I'm 30 years old. And my life is not 100% figured out. Mm-hmm. And so, I have moments and times where I don't even know what emotion I'm feeling. And I can expect a 5-year-old, 3-year-old to know what emotion they're having, right? Or why they're feeling that way. So for me, I just kind of like, sometimes I'm walking through it like, hey, why are you upset, or what's going on? And then when they act out, I don't attack the symptom, but I try to find the core. And then that's just me. And I think it goes back to what Ms. Miranda said. You know, you got to set the tone. You know, you got to be straightforward, and then help them talk through it. And then if it needs for me, from the punishment, if it needs a spanking, it's a spanking, and then you follow through. And then that's where I feel like Sam's consistency comes into place. So it's a lot of things you got to piece together, right? And then that's what makes the discipline action and consequence.
Well, and I raised a stepchild that's in prison today because he was never disciplined. And I went in when he was 6, and I couldn't do nothing with him, nothing, because the mother was deceased. Here goes stepmom, and he hated me, but everything I did for him was out of love. You know what I'm saying? I never touched him, but I would talk to him, cry with him, pray with him. I did everything, but he still ended up in prison. So I think at the end of the day, a lot of times is with the new day parents, that what hurts my heart with the new day parents is that they thinking I need to be your friend, and all I got to do is talk to you, and we're gonna get through this. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't go like that. Eventually, you gotta do more than that.
And to piggyback on that, what you were saying is like, at least I'm like, because it's gonna be me or the police.
Amen.
And that's what I would tell the kids, because our behavior system was like demerits and stuff. But I was
especially Sam, with our brown children today, they have got to get it together.
I don't know.
My district, I worked in a charter school, but it was APS, like it's in the city.
I would have to argue it's either the parent or the police, because my brother acted out multiple times, right? And the police was called upon him. So at the age of 15 onward, the police was calling due to his behavior.
15.
Police never did anything. In fact, his behavior was enabled, right? He was one that got everything he wanted and everything. There was no discipline in his act. I mean, he's not in jail. He's not doing anything bad, but still, the behavior was really toxic. And I don't think the scare for the police should really be something.
Can I say you're right? I think in general, the police meant life. And for a lot of Black people, the real situation of it is they get killed for regular stuff that other people get killed.
But it could be anything, anybody, anywhere. Yeah,
so when I talk to the kids, when I talk to the high school kids, because they was like, I don't care about the demerit. And I would say, I know you don't care about the demerit. But guess what? You're 16. You're about to be out in the real world. You're going to have rent. You're going to have water. You're going to have utilities. You're going to have to buy your own food. You're going to have a job. It's not going to be a demerit. It's going to be you get sent home from work. You don't get paid. You don't have a way to pay your rent. You need to eat. Like, fine. Don't care about the demerit. That's cool. Just understand you can take this lesson now, or you can take it later.
Take it later. Amen. Sam, girl, you good. You know your shit, Sam. You right.
All right,
I taught high school. I'm telling y'all, like I taught high school, and I love those kids, and they love me.
You couldn't pay me to be in a classroom right now.
Not today.
What? No.
All right, loves. So before we head into our last commercial break, does anyone who doesn't have children want to chime in on this topic?
Well, honestly, I was going to say, because Sam just kind of alluded to what I was going to talk about what Rhonda said, where it's like me or the police and stuff. And like, I don't necessarily have kids, but I'm kind of like getting a taste of it these days, just as the situation has been. And like, as obviously a brown person and like teaching now brown kids, it's like, it's different. You know, I know that I'm teaching them something that perhaps other families would not. You know, and that's one of the things, and it's in the spirit of that like we have to discipline you now, because if you're wilding out like this as you get older, there's, you know, where you are, the place that you live, you can't wild out like that here. You will get in trouble. You could get shot, you could die. Like this isn't a game. Like
Right.
you have to learn this kind of discipline because you're not getting it taught where you need to be having it taught. And like when you're learning it from myself and these other outlets, it's harder for us because of that, but we're doing it out of care. You know, that discipline and that punishment is there out of care because like it's a desperation of like, these are things that you need to learn because as you get older, they can really become a problem for you in your lifetime. You know what I mean? And that's something that I think that some families have an issue with and other families don't even know about. So
yeah,
you're
right, Julian.
Yeah, and parenting. And now, and that's why when you said that, I was like, "Oh, girl, I've been experiencing that lately, where I've been like, this boy needs to get it together because you're only 4 years old, but the things that you're doing now are going to get worse as you get older."
And see, that's how it was with my stepson.
And your consequences are going to be dire. Yeah.
Yep. I kept trying. I worked so hard. I went to court. I paid money. I mean, I cried, and at the end of the day, I was the black bitch that he hated.
And that's why I was like 6. I was like, "Oh, this kid's only 4, the one that I'm talking about," and it's frustrating now, you know. And you're already kind of getting set in your ways, and you're so young, and we're trying to change this now because you need this to be changed now. And it's like I understand it's rough, it's hard, you know, and parenting is different for different families, I guess. But
all right, everyone. So it is that time for us to talk about our main topic for the evening, which I'm so excited about. But before we do that, let's pay a quick bill with some commercials.
Hey everybody, my name's Chris.
I'm Duryea.
I'm Ricky Z.
Justin.
And Julian.
Have you heard about Anchor.fm? It's the easiest way to make a podcast. First off, it's free.
Oh, I love free, especially when we're talking creation tools that allow you to record and edit right from your phone and computer.
And Anchor will actually distribute your podcast for you. So as soon as you're finished recording, you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms.
And you can make money off of your podcast with no minimum listenership.
It's basically a one-stop shop for everything you need. So head on over to anchor.fm and download the mobile app now. And make sure you come back and geek out with us.
Dating and sex and folk.
All right. So, online dating. The reason I decided to pick this topic was because I feel like I don't know how to date at all. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do not one part of any kind of dating, whether it's online or not. Either I'm like way too forward. Let me see your titties. You know what I'm saying? Or like I'm not forward enough. Like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. We have guests. Come here. You wanna get on camera? Come on, buddy.
Oh,
we have a little visitor.
Oh, baby.
So I don't know how to date. So of course, and I mean that in-person stuff. Like I'm the type of person that'll look at you from across the bar and you look at me, and we clearly, but I'm not gonna do nothing unless you say something. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I have to resort to online dating. And it's not that I like or dislike online dating. It's just that it is necessity nowadays. And I felt bad about it for a while. Not bad, just like when we're from that generation. Everybody in this panel is from that generation where maybe not Sonnet, you're a little young, and maybe not Rhonda, because Rhonda used to go into the clubs and meeting folks. I'm used to, like, if you were to tell somebody at a certain point that you knew somebody from online, they would think you were crazy.
Yeah.
Period. They would think, oh my God, you're talking to somebody online. He's going to cut you up, or she's going to, stuff like that.
As your grandma Leola say, we dating on the computer.
Yeah, dating on the computer.
She said, I don't want to meet nobody you met on the computer.
Right. But nowadays, nowadays it's very commonplace for someone to be like, oh, I met this person online, that person online. There's people who are married and with children who met online. So I figured we should have a conversation about it. And I'm actually going to go to James first, because when I told him about this topic, he was like, I told him 2 topics. He was like, oh, I don't want to do that. I hate online dating. And I was like, okay. So my wheels got to churning. So I'm going to let him start the conversation off. Tell me why you hate online dating.
Tell me, James. Come on now.
All right. Well, first of all, just full disclaimer, right? I'm not good at it. So that's that's going to be the heavy bias right there.
That's fair. That's fair.
But for a few reasons, right? Like, for one, I hate the fact that you got to craft a persona. Prior before even meeting someone, like, I got to craft a persona. I got to get the pictures, right? I got to make sure that, like, I hate it. Like, I got to make sure I got a good picture, right? Which, like, I hate smiling in pictures. And then I got to make sure I got pictures with friends and everything. And then I got to look interesting. And it's just a whole pain in the ass.
You're doing too much. You're doing
He's
too
right,
much.
though.
You ain't gonna do all that.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
people do that anyway.
Yeah, you do that no matter what.
You craft that persona and stuff anyway. You're right. Because you're gonna do that beforehand no matter what. That first date, no one ever brings their full person. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go to my first date and be like, I'm stressed. Pressy, do you know you want to hang out with me the next time?
I'm crazy.
Like, no.
I got this going on. I'm fucked up in this way. This is all my baggage and all my drama.
I'm like Sam. Just bring it all.
Okay, so let me ask that question. All right, here's a question
as I get older, I wish they would.
Here's a question to the panel. All right, on the first date, I think we did this before, didn't we, Lacolia? On the first date, are you supposed to dump all the baggage?
No. It's like
you don't want
to I'm divorced. I want to be with
like, what you going through? What's your head at? Unless if it's a hookup, we don't got to do none of that. If we hooking up, bam, boom, out. But if it's like a we're going to eat and converse, let me have it, because at the end of the day, I don't want to know later, because then I'm already in love. And when I fall in love, let me say it, Rhonda. Let me say it. The way I am, I'm actually very, very picky. I'm picky because when I fall, it's like there's no slope. It's just there's no more ground. You know what I'm saying? Real quick.
Too fast. I mean, you're going too fast.
I can't help it. It's because let me tell you, Rhonda, I'm so cynical about motherfuckers that when one creep up on me, it's like, oh my God, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for somebody to be so it's like I'll be looking and be like, oh, I think I really am into you. What the fuck? That's how it happens to me. It's out of nowhere. I don't even realize it. You be in my face for years, then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, you're the perfect person. That's how it happens to me. So because of that, I feel more comfortable being casual than having someone take me out to dinner and all that stuff, because then it feels like you have to let that barrier down, right? And that's tricky.
So you saying you rather be wooed first?
No, he doesn't want to be wooed.
I don't want to be wooed. I want you to woo me later, right? Mm-hmm. Say let's just get all the bullshit out now, because what happens is
you want no filter.
Yes, because I be seeing some jaded ass people be like, he left me or she left me after this, and I'm just like, well, I found out up front. So, like, I had a relationship. Y'all don't judge me. I had a relationship that started with a certain type of hookup where there was more than one person involved other than me. We had a threesome, and after the threesome, I wasn't nasty. I was in college. and I was drunk. It was what happened. Anyway, the point was, after that, I felt like, because generally what happens is you don't lead with your hoe. You save the hoe till later. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it was like, but I already saw that side. So everything after that was refreshing. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't the other way around. I feel like what happens is you present this beautiful persona, and then after that, it's like everything you do that's not that persona, like James said, it's like a knock against you instead of starting at the bottom and building up.
True. Yes.
I guess.
But
I have specific feelings about online dating because I met my current boyfriend on a dating app.
Oh, okay. Do tell.
I like literally we met living in Florida, and he moved across the country, and then we dated long distance, and then
he moved across the country after y'all met.
Yes, he's from Washington State, and so he moved to Washington, and then I went back to Georgia and finished my degree. We dated the whole time. Well, we broke up, but then we got back together. It's very complicated.
I know that life.
We love each other, whatever. And so then I moved to Seattle, and we met online on a dating app. And it's funny that you talk about first impressions on first dates, because he and when I did online dating, and I'm well versed in online dating, I did it a lot. And so I was always I'm going to drag out this texting, this talking on the app for at least a week and a half and see if this person is still interested in me after talking to me for this amount of time, because I got a lot to say and I want to text, and I'm going to see if he's still into me.
Okay.
So I did it. And because a lot of people be like, all right, let's go on a first date after a day. And I'd be like, I don't know you. So no.
Ooh. That's straight life, Julian. That's that straight life, right?
That's straight life, no.
Right.
First of all, the gays invented online dating because we had no other place to be except
there was no other place to
be. Wait, you guys remember AOL?
AOL changed the game.
Anyway, so we went on this date where we talked for a week, then we went on our first date, and I was so I knew I really liked him, and we tell this story all the time. I knew I really liked him. He knew he really liked me. It was one of those things we met. We're boom, we figured it out. We love each other. We found the person. Right. But I lied to him on our first date.
What did you lie about?
I lied about having a degree.
That's technically not a lie. That's technically not a lie, Sonny.
It's not a lie, but yes.
It's not a lie. Her degree situation was complicated. She got a job. She left for a job. So
I left for a job. I left for a performing job. It was a thing, but I lied.
Did you come in your pencil skirt and your blazer and was I'm an accountant at the next place?
No. I told I still had I had a job. I had a job performing, and then I had a job working in marketing. I was nervous though, because I was this guy's so smart. He works in government things. I have to. And so he's when did you graduate? And I was 2013. And then but anyway, so then on our second day, I got home from that date at 3 a.m. and I was I love him. And on our second day that night, I was talking to my friend. I love him. On our second day, I was talking to my friends. I was I fucking lied to him about not having a degree. He's gonna break up with me. He's gonna tell me he doesn't want to date me. And then on our second date, I came clean. I was look, I lied to you. And he was okay. And I was I don't have a degree. And he was oh, okay. Whatever. Don't lie to me though. That's so stupid. But then I lied to him about knowing how to ride a bike. I'm a great partner. I'm a really good girlfriend.
But so what, I feel everybody who doesn't date the way I prefer to date. Now I've lied about shit.
You don't date though.
I do date. I date. Don't do that. Don't do me.
Well, when they come on
national, don't do me on national internet. Don't do that. Listen, I date. It's just
when they
I've been told. No, I've been told this. Either it's crazy. I've been told by some dudes that I'm intimidating, but I don't think I'm intimidating.
You're intimidating.
I'm not intimidating. I'm the nicest person on the planet. I'm not intimidating. But I've been told that. I've also been told I've been told a lot of reasons, which is okay, cool. But I just don't find people that hit my nerve that often. And when they do hit it, it's then I just I'm just not good at bridging the gap. It's when we're friends, I'm cool and I can just be me. But once I decide that I like you, I start stuttering every time we talk. It'll take me an hour and a half to write a 5-sentence text. Okay. it'll like I'll click and I'm just turning to Steve Urkel basically once I like somebody, you know. That is right. That's why online dating is easy for me, because it's like I really don't see any future in online dating. I've met a lot of friends through online dating, but that's because being friends is easy for me. Like I know how to be an amazing friend. I'm the best friend anybody could have.
Right.
I have no clue how to be a partner. Right.
Right.
So when it's online, it's just like, okay, I just talk shit like we're friends. But in dating, how do you avoid not lying? Because until you've just, in Sonnet's situation, she didn't know that this was going to be the guy. At the time, he was just a date, right? You don't get to know all my shit right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So show of hands, who has never lied on a first date? Bullshit.
Obviously, no.
I think there's been a time where I
bullshit. All three of y'all lied.
I think there was a time where I didn't lie necessarily, but I definitely might have been misleading or
explain.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like where you say, okay, for example, I don't know, you like talk yourself up a little bit. You just make it seem, you know, you let them fill in the gap. And so they will think something more of you, even though that's not necessarily what you said.
Yeah.
You just inference something. You know, like it's weird. It just comes up organically.
Okay.
I can't just give you an example.
So you're telling me you've never told a flat out lie?
I'm not saying that never. I think I'm just saying I think I maybe had like one date where I necessarily didn't lie, but I definitely was misleading.
What are we lying about?
You can lie about a lot of stuff. Do you have kids? I know Mama probably lie about that all the time.
I'm old. I got children.
It could be in that first hello, hi, how are you today? I'm great, even though your day was terrible. Like, you know.
No, I'm not gonna count like how are you doing type stuff.
Well, yeah, but
okay. So what would I lie about? I mean, what
would you could lie about your intentions, whether you are actually like, you know, whether you're available or not. Like somebody, are you free Friday night?
I'm a widow. I'm a widow.
Do you tell people that when you meet them?
Yes, I do.
Is that not off? Do people get like?
Yes, because we're too young to die, but too old to die, but too young to die. So a lot of people are like, damn, how your husband died?
Right.
And when I tell them, it's like, but I mean,
do you find that it's difficult to then? Do dudes get put off and just not want to talk to you after that? Then.
No, because I'm bad. So why?
Hello.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, that's
right there.
Honestly, that's what I'm finding as I get older. I'm like, I don't want any more of the bullshit. That's right. You know, I'm more on that page of like, just give me all your laundry now. Let's do
right now. Don't think. Hey, wait a minute. Don't think.
Give me all of it, the good and the bad.
Don't think for 1 second that I did not notice you raise your hand, James. So you got to explain. You absolutely have to explain.
James too quiet over there. Right. James ain't saying nothing about nothing.
Right.
Come on, James, tell us.
Who have you not lied to? What kind of not lies have you not told?
I don't know. Look,
you're saying you've never lied on a first date. Never.
No, but I don't go on that many first dates. Let's be very clear.
Okay.
Right? So like, if I'm gonna go on a date with someone, like I'm interested. That's it, right? Like I'm excited to meet this person. I want to talk to this person. I want to get to know them. Like there's no games, there's no bullshit, right? So if they ask me a question,
James, let me ask you this. James, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
First of all, how long you been doing online dating?
I don't know, like 4 or 5 years.
Wow. Damn. So you're a pro.
I mean, that's good.
Rhonda, don't do that. It's this generation that's not that long. For real.
Yeah, it's not.
With this generation, you ask me how long I've been online dating, forever.
Eternity.
So what y'all doing is hooking up with people and doing the nasty with them and not.
Online dating is what got me out of my comfort zone. What got me comfortable, talking to women.
That's a negative.
Y'all doing the nasty.
No,
everybody. That's what when I was younger, that's what I used online dating for.
How the hell y'all been online dating and in a serious relationship? Come on now. Be real.
Listen, Rhonda, it's like this. It's like this. Some people, which I don't believe, I personally feel like this. Okay, in the gay community, it's pretty much expected that that's what's happening, right? That
Right.
people meet online, they go, I feel like straight people be doing that shit too. And
Oh my
acting like they
God.
don't.
Are you
Yes.
kidding?
They pretend like it's not.
But they
just
like
terrible.
straight people want to be like, oh my God, you got, I don't, especially straight girls. No, I
I hate
don't.
to be the one to say it. It's all terrible only because men are involved. So if the man is
Sonny.
involved, it's gonna be terrible.
Sonny, so
But James
have you
said he
ever
date
had
girls.
like a
But James
hookup?
say he date girl.
Have I ever had a hookup?
Yeah, from online.
Hold on, you're breaking up. Did you ask me if I've ever had a hookup?
Yes, from online.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Stop it.
I know.
Oh my goodness. No,
I
I'm
know.
just playing.
Still
I'm just
I
playing.
know.
I know.
I just feel like I feel like that's the persona though. I feel like that's the persona that like
it's like the tail end of that stigma of online dating in general. You know what I mean? And now it's like like when you did online dating, it was either for sex or something.
Lacovia, we coming for you soon. I see you.
Yeah,
you ain't
so
ducking
I will
smoke.
say-
You over there braiding the hair. Go ahead, Sonny.
I
Say
will-
what you got to say, and then we're gonna hear from Lacovia.
Yes, I will say that, like, in my circumstance where I did do that, it wasn't like a one-time thing. It was like a person that I met. The intention was to date,
And it didn't work out that way.
and it didn't work out. So we just
Right.
Just doing stuff.
So that's a buddy. That's a buddy. That's not a hookup. That's a buddy. That's different. It's different.
I know.
It's a buddy. A buddy's not a bad thing. Neither is a hookup. Neither one is bad. We're not doing
None
the
of
same
those
thing.
are bad. None of those are
But I
bad.
feel like buddies are good. This is why buddies better than a hookup, right? Because then time 2 and 3, way better. You get
Yeah, but I just
Hold on, y'all.
like it 'cause I'm
Hold on,
You get to
y'all.
learn each other.
What
kind
the
of
hell
thing.
is a buddy and what the hell is a hookup?
A buddy?
Okay,
a hookup is a
is-
one time. A buddy is like a recurring one time thing.
A buddy is when you get that text at 2
still
o'clock,
emotionless. It's still
It's a booty call.
like
but it's not no
connection
feeling.
outside of
Sam,
physical.
wait a minute, let Sam speak. Which say Sam?
Hookup is a one night stand, and a buddy is just physical, but it's
I'm gonna call you
multiple
when I
occasions.
need some. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what the girl.
Everybody needs a good buddy. Let's be clear. 'Cause if you got a good buddy, that means that's that one person where you get that
What,
WYD
y'all?
text
What?
at 11 o'clock, 12, 1. You know what's good. All right, Lacovia.
All right,
Come on
Kobe,
with it.
Come on, Kobe.
I love my auntie.
Kobe,
She
you
with it.
peeping. Kobe, you peeping.
Oh, I think she on. Yeah, go ahead. Are you muted? I got you. Oh no, it said you got to mute it. Okay. For everybody who's listening to the podcast, y'all didn't realize the whole time Kobe has been working the whole show, multitasking like a mug.
She got to get that money.
And we down for it. Okay, we got some technicals. While she's getting back connected, let's continue. Now listen, I feel like for me, I feel more comfortable with, I think, a buddy better than anything else because it's like you don't have a lot of expectations. You can really do normal stuff, right? You can go to the bar, you can play sports, you can hang out, you can talk, you can watch movies, but you don't have no expectations for like no behaviors. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Sonia.
I have a question though. Like how many times do you have a buddy and then one of you ends up having feelings?
Thank you,
like,
Sonny.
That is such a typical thing. And like to be honest, like again, I'm in a committed relationship and we've been together for 3 years, but like in my past, like it has turned out, especially I feel like on my end, because I'm a very emotional person, where like I get the feels and like the guy's like, didn't think this is what that was.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And like, but that, and it's fine. Like, I really don't care. But like, that happens, and that's happened to me before, where I've been like, I like just want to be your friend. And like at the end of the day, I feel like it's so common that like you go into it with this intention of like, oh, it's gonna be so fun. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna call you at 11. We're gonna go to get trashed, and then like someone's like waiting on the person to call them, or someone's waiting
let me
on
say
the
this.
person to
I will
go
say
on.
this. I will say this on it. I've only had technically 3 relationships in my life. People who I've actually, no, 4 who have actually said, you are my significant other, right? One of them was in high school, and I guess we don't really, that's cloudy. We don't do that.
Yeah.
The other one was like a long distance thing. We didn't, so I don't really count that one. The other 2 were actual relationships. Of those other 2, one of them was a buddy who caught feelings, but he had feelings before we came a buddy. I had feelings too, but I was with my previous. We had it was complicated. Yeah, no, I was with my boyfriend when I met him. Me and him, like we had like interactions, and it was like cool, but I thought it was only friends. But then when I was single, he wasn't. When he was single, I wasn't. That kind of thing, right? Then we were both finally single. We ended up dating. Now, but the thing about it is this: like when it comes to emotions, right? They're horrible. They're useless. Mm-hmm. Just get rid of them in the situation like that.
What?
Absolutely. Throw them out. Absolutely. They're just going to cause you a lot of trouble and a lot of alcohol bills and therapy. Yes. Let me tell you why. Because for me, if I could change one thing about the most painful thing I've probably ever dealt with was a breakup. I hate that shit. I don't ever want to deal with that again. Like, that's the strangest feeling in the world. How you mad at somebody that you want to screw and you want to get like it's so many like weird jumbles of emotions at once. I don't like breaking up. So for me, I'd rather just keep that wall. That wall is so comfortable.
Yeah, but it's so good when it's good though.
When it's good though, that's why it sucks when
and
it's
like,
not good.
I know, but then you get to grow from that really horrible place. You get to learn a lot of things about. I sound like it's such a freaking.
So okay, here's the question. Here's the question.
He's like, I'm just so in love.
Wait a minute, Sam saying something. Listen to Sam.
Can we please go back to throw out emotions? Because
get rid of them.
Thank you, Sam. Come on.
No, because those are God gave us those.
Whether you believe in God or not, Sam. I just mean in that situation.
Okay, let me rewind. We are created with those. That's what I feel like. And that was not a mistake. And emotions, if you understand them, can help you actually live and feel better and have a better life.
I agree with that.
Emotions, if you can pay attention to them and understand them, you start to understand your triggers and you start to understand why you react the way you do to certain situations and why you attract the people you attract.
Girl, you better speak.
Somebody ate their Cheerios this morning.
Yes, they did.
Look, let me say this though, Sam.
Sam should be a doctor.
I agree with everything you just said about emotions. I love emotions. I think emotions are great. My issue with emotions come when there's a space in your heart for that person. You know what I mean? That person. I'm an empath. So like I already feel things very heavily. When it comes to that person, I guess it's just because I also haven't had a lot of practice with it. It's just not comfortable. It's very unknown. So I want to ask a question to the whole group. Which is it? Do you prefer? Is the relationship worth the breakup? That's the question. Because Sonnet was saying something like that before I don't know what happened to her. Is the relationship worth the breakup?
None of them are.
I don't think that's the question you should be asking.
Why? It's true. You have to, every time you get into a relationship, you're risking that. That's absolutely what you're risking.
But it's a 50-50 because you're risking the breakup or you're risking that it's going to work out.
Right, which is why I'm asking for you individually, which is the breakup worth the risk of finding that special someone? Which
last
is worth
time I online dated someone turned out to be my ex-wife. And that's because emotions got involved. And she was only supposed to be a fuck buddy.
Right.
Whoa.
Right.
Eesh.
Right.
He went in.
Yeah. And that's how it goes.
Okay, so
they told me you're back now.
Next thing you know, y'all in love. Y'all.
That is the point. I think it depends on the toxicity of the relationship.
But that toxicity helped out.
Right.
Okay,
so
talking about even risking.
Wait, y'all. Let me hear from Lacovia while her microphone working because you know she got a job.
Kovia doing the damn thing.
Okay.
Kovia making money.
Tell us about your online dating experiences.
Well, I've never had a online dating experience. I'm a traditional girl, and I like to be courted. I like to be courted.
Me too, Kovia. Me too.
So explain that to me. How do you manage getting courted in 2020?
You can. It's there.
Well, I haven't. I don't have those things because I've been in a relationship for like 8 years now.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. So 8 years ago, he was just what? He rolled up on you at the store, the restaurant, the club, what?
Okay, so our story is a little different. He had some things that I like, and I was going to get it, you know.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah, I understand. Okay.
And to be honest, I mean, I guess I'm not too traditional because he was just so fine to me in my eyes. I wanted him, so I would just. So when he used to see me, at first I used to always have my work uniform on, so I would have my hair back in a ponytail, and I wasn't cute. So then after that, I was like, you know what? I won't, but you finna stop playing with me. So I started getting dressed and letting the long hair flow. It's wrapped up right now. You can't see it, but I got it.
I love it.
And he bit the bait, and it's been on ever since.
Okay, so you ended up courting him almost.
Yeah,
well, I think it's the traditional style of like the peacock and the you know.
Yeah.
You know, and the traditional style,
guys,
like, you know.
Hey y'all, we have a great question in the comments. I want to ask that question. Would you date a coworker or people that you meet at work? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes and
I'm
no.
married
Because you can get.
Wait, let's go around the circle. Let's start with Julian. Go.
Okay. Date, no. Date is a no. Date is a no. I don't think. I think that if they worked in the same place as me afterwards, okay. But if I met them at work, I wouldn't actually date them. I would maybe do things with them, but I wouldn't actually date them, kind of a thing.
Okay.
Just because it's like, oh, that's too much. That's too much.
Okay. But you're in a supervisory position. If you were not in a supervisory position.
Okay, and that's the other thing is also that. But now actually, well, still, I don't think I would. I still don't think I would, just because it's like you'd have to see them all the time and. Well, no, not necessarily that. It's just I probably wouldn't anyway, just because I've been a very strong feeler of like, you don't. I've been taught very, very much that you don't shit where you eat, kind of a thing. Like you don't date where you work, things like that. Like it's a bad idea. It's just because if anything goes wrong, then you can be, that can cause problems for you in your workplace, and that's what I don't enjoy. So.
Okay, Davila.
So I'm married. I love you, honey.
Okay.
But I think it's fun. I think dating in the workplace can be fun as long as it doesn't become something toxic. Especially if you're in the same level. Obviously not higher or lower, but same level employees or coworkers could definitely start dating each other. If it creates an environment where they're striving or they can fool around a little bit in the back. I mean, I think that would be pretty.
Oh,
cool.
he's all about the kink.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It sounds nice in theory, but I think in practice it's a little harder.
I appreciate his honesty, though. I appreciate his honesty because everybody's mind went there. You lying if you say it didn't. You're lying if you're saying it didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna put it on the internet. I've done it before at a different job, obviously a different job, not the one that I currently have. But
right, of course.
It was awkward though. It's awkward. Like it's nice and all, but it's like I don't think I'd do it again because it's my anxiety. Yeah. It's a lot. Okay.
So I mean, if you're in the Army, like if you're in the same unit, you probably shouldn't do that. But if it's a work and you can actually leave without being obligated, yeah, I think that should do. There's no obligation to stay.
Got you, James.
I'm pretty closed off at work. I'm usually all business, no play, but I mean, people talk about like, that lightning bolt moment, right? Where like you find someone and like, that's it.
Right.
I would give a shit about work.
Right. In that situation, of course not.
Yeah.
Rhonda, I feel like I already know your answer.
I dated in the workplace when I was 18. And right now, today, we're still friends. Yeah. 40 years ago.
So why'd y'all break up?
He got married. I got married. We went separate ways. We found each other again about 3 years ago, and we talk every day as friends.
That's good.
Yeah.
But you're that type of person though. You're not really like a nasty person.
I'm not.
You're not a nasty person. So All right, Sam, what you gonna say?
Well, okay, I think it depends on the work environment.
Okay.
Because I have dated and married someone I met in the workplace.
Okay.
But when I dated them, it was a summer position. It was a lifeguard position.
Okay.
So we knew in 2 months, no matter what, like we weren't gonna be working with each other. So I think in that type of situation, it was, and we were all outdoors at the pool every day, you know. So, but I did end up marrying him and then divorcing him. But but I think it depends on the situation, and I think it does depend on the levels. I think you have to be careful with that. And I don't think you should shit where you eat, but I do think there are circumstances where, like, also now I'm a real estate agent, so I would never date anyone that I work with in my office. But there are 45,000 agents in Atlanta. Like, it's pretty.
God, why? Everybody got one house?
It's pretty statistically high that, like, I would meet another real estate agent that I would find attractive. Maybe not from my office, but he's in my field, and that is, you know. So is that someone that I'm dating from my work? And I don't know, you know. So I think it depends on the situation too.
I'm very interested to hear this. Kovia?
So I've never dated in the workplace, but I've had some friends.
Okay.
At the workplace sometimes. Okay. But it didn't never go as far as like actually. I mean, I had one guy really wanted to date me, but we just ended up going separate ways. But I mean, I just looked at it like fun because we work together. You see me every day, and I don't know if I want to go home and see you all day and I want to work with you all day. So it was just some fun. You know how they hit like your work boyfriend or whatever. I had one of those, but that was it, and then it didn't last long. I ended up getting in a relationship and shit. So hey.
For me, I have dated someone who I've worked with both in two different professions. So like, because I'm an actor, you know, we have to have like more than one job all the time. So I will never ever get like I dated one actor in my life. He's the only actor I will ever date. He was cool as shit. We're still best friends, but I will never date another actor again, especially not a black man, because it's the competition.
What's wrong with the brother?
Not a black male actor. If you're like a black male actor, then we're competing in the industry. And if you can't remove that,
so y'all get jealous of each other.
Yes, if I'm working and you're not, or what, and I'm not saying that happened.
But you know what? I heard that's true in even what do you call it when it's a man and a woman?
As actors, I can see that.
Yeah,
but for me,
I heard that.
For me, yeah, I can see that. Like if Halle Berry was my wife or something like that. But I feel like this though, like when you're in a situation like that, because everybody else was talking about the difference in power play. I'm talking about the difference in advancement. Are you secure enough to have your significant other be more successful than you at your same job? Mm-hmm. And for me, I am like that kind of time. I'm so cool with being like I like the power play. So if like you're at the power position at work, then I can be in the power position at home. So like it doesn't bother me, like my insecurity. No, girl. But I personally don't think it doesn't bother me either way. Like I'm with James. Like it depends on the person more than like our relationship. Like what I mean is like if we work together or not, that doesn't matter if I feel like there's a thing there, because I always feel like work can change. It's hard to find a person to be like your person.
Well, so James, what's your status now? Are you dating online or Or you in something serious? What's going on with you? Because you're real quiet over there.
I'm just, yeah, I guess I'm just dating online, I suppose.
Damn,
No.
everybody.
And you
who is
said
currently
you've been
dating online?
We all are.
Everybody
I
online?
am.
No, he's
Everybody.
married. He's married.
I'm married.
Lacovia said.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Who married?
Davila is married, and
I'm
Lacovia
married.
got an 8-year boyfriend.
Davila, did you
Davila.
meet your wife online?
No, actually, I met my wife at church.
Ha!
My
Yeah.
second wife, yeah. My only beautiful wife.
He met
Yeah.
his first wife online.
My first wife, yeah.
Come on now.
I'll marry Tail right there. and
I hit the wall at church.
and that's my cue. So we're gonna go
He
into
already
our.
said it. He already said it.
We're gonna do.
That's how I know.
So we're gonna hit our last commercial break because that was a perfect segue before we go into our final thoughts for the evening, and we'll be right back in about 1 minute.
Hi, this is Cody from Cody Paul Media. Thank you for joining me. Anybody can record a video, but the question is, how do you make that video stand out among the rest? A quick animated video like this one can change things around for your company, so go to codypaulmedia.com and get those needs met today. See you later.
All right, y'all. I've actually really enjoyed this chat tonight. I think we all needed it. It felt like whatever's going on outside of this little bubble just wasn't happening. So I really appreciate the energy that y'all had tonight. It was a blast. Sana had to go because she's in a different time zone and she had to get off, but she just wanted to tell everybody thank you for having her and that she had a great time. So right now we're going to do our final thoughts. And let's start with Sam because she's been dropping knowledge.
Sam is the shit.
Yeah.
Sam
Thank you.
Therapist, because she done taught me a lot. Come on, Sam. And Sam, you in Atlanta, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you in Atlanta?
On the west side.
Okay.
Like off 18 Homes, off 20.
Oh shit! Look, don't do that on the internet though. Don't talk after the show. Talk after the show. But I don't know you was living over there. We got to talk, Sam. Oh shit!
Yeah.
You need some? You need help? I'm just playing. All right, go ahead, Sam, with your final thoughts.
Okay, so my final thoughts are, first I want to say my sister met her husband online. So I think it can be done right if we're talking about online dating. I think that people need to take their time, like Sonnet was saying, she talked to her dude before she went on the date for like a week and a half or so. If you pay attention, you can pick up red flags pretty easily in conversations if you take your time. So if you're going to do it, I think it should be done with caution. And to answer your question about dumping all the baggage on the table on the first date, I think that's the best time to get everything out because there's no emotional connection. Like there is no obligation. There is like no one's falling. You know, you can just put it out there.
It's like if you don't like me today, fuck you, gone.
And you know what? I am who I am. Like who I am today is who I am gonna be in 6 months, and that but that also comes with time. Like that is another level of like, and that is why it's important on who you date, because not everyone is comfortable with themselves. And when we were talking about masks and how online dating you create a persona, people do that in real life dating anyway. We do that in real life. We put on a mask every day we go outside.
Yeah.
If we're being honest. And
some type of mask. Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what? In my age group, when I meet guys online. I've been dating online for the last 2 years since my husband passed. A lot of guys, they want me to send all these pictures. And when oh yeah. So because they say, that ain't true. And then when they see me, they say, oh shit, it's you. And I be like, hell yeah, it's me. So much catfish go on with that online dating.
You would not believe. I want to ask about catfish.
But there is ways around that now. Like it's easy now with like FaceTime and Messenger, like WhatsApp, like
the apps themselves have like
a lot of guys say, "Oh, I see your upper body. Can you see me something lower?" Well, first of all, I ain't finna see you nothing naked, okay? But I'll send you my whole body. Yeah.
We done got all off topic. We done got all off. We supposed to be doing the final thoughts. We doing the after
okay.
show.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's just I'm looking at the clock, Rhonda. That's all.
All right. Anyway, I'm just saying, y'all be careful. Know what you need in a partner, and know what voids you're trying to fill when you're dating, because that is important. No matter if it's online or not.
Girl,
Come on, Sam.
You took my final statement.
Go, Sam.
All right.
Say it, girl.
Sam, Marley Bears is, what is it, at Marley Bear? Can we throw that up there?
Yep. Marley Bears ATL.
Marley Bears ATL to support young hustling entrepreneurs. Also, Sam sells ATL homes, spelled just like it sounds. Sam sells ATL homes. On IG. All right.
Girl, I'm gonna holler at you.
Let's go to James. Let's hear it.
James been quiet all night. Come on, James.
I'm just a quiet person. I just like to listen to people.
James, where are you located? Where you at in the world?
Rhonda, why are you asking everybody where their address is at?
Just come to visit. Hello.
I'm in the Twin Cities.
Rhonda gonna be driving. Y'all, hey, y'all can't be hanging out with my auntie now. This is not what this is. If I see anybody in any of her Facebook pictures, I'm mad.
Duria, she my auntie now. I'm just like,
hey, Sam, you playing? You be over the house for dinner. You'll never leave, especially if she cook you a steak. Oh
but I'm sorry,
no.
What?
Don't let her cook you no steak. You're gonna be stuck.
Girl, I'm a vegetarian, but I still
hopefully the virus will get over with soon and we can all come to my house and have fun.
Have a little cookout. This would be a fun group.
Yes.
All right, James.
So, James, come on, James.
All right. Well, you know.
Cause James, you know what I noticed about you?
Yeah.
You're real handsome.
Thank you.
But you ain't being open about something. Come on, tell us what you think.
What do I think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You real cute. You real cute.
Yeah,
James, I think you're a player. I think you're a player, James. I think you're a player.
No. I remember when I was younger, my
You've
mom.
been online 4 years.
Well, so wait, now hold on. I actually haven't dated for really 2 years. So I was in training, and then before that I deployed, and before that I was in a new city. And so I was more focused on work for basically the last 2 years. And then COVID hit after I moved to the Twin Cities. And that's a hell of a time to meet people because man, first dates are awkward, but like
throw a mask and some gloves on.
Hello,
can you stand back there, please? Can you stand back there?
What I'm supposed to do at the end of the night, like I have no idea.
You can't get no kiss at the end of the night. Just get an elbow.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have to sanitize it afterwards.
All right, James. What's your final thoughts? Let him do his final thoughts.
Come on, James.
Online dating, I still hate. Gotta take all them pictures. And then also conversation it's not the same. No. Like your introduction, everything. Like I can go up to a person and doesn't matter where, I can be like, hey, I'm James, nice to meet you. You know, I think you're amazing. Like, you know, what do you say we go out? You know, or like tell me about yourself. And that can work. I can't do that online. Online I gotta think of something clever. I gotta have some lines in the back of my pocket.
Right.
I hate that. That's so disingenuous. I don't like it.
Right.
And then
but you know what? Let me tell you something.
Rhonda, hold on. Rhonda, you know you about to get a turn too, Rhonda.
Okay.
You're gonna get a turn. You're gonna get your final. I'm gonna let you go last so you can just say everything you want to say.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. This is hilarious. It's almost 10 o'clock. That's all. I'll do this all night. You know me and you will stay up and talk shit all night.
What?
All the time. I miss you so much, Rhonda.
Sam,
Okay.
Sam, let me ask Sam something.
Rhonda, not right now though.
Okay,
Hold
that
up.
ain't how I go. That ain't.
Hold up. Okay. Thank you, James, for your final thought. We don't have any handles for you. Okay. Kovia, go next. But hurry up for Rhonda to say something.
Final thoughts. First, of course, it's always a pleasure to be on the panel. Let's see, online dating. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I know some people that have done it, had fun, they like it. Some people don't like it. I mean, it's just what you prefer. And if you can't figure out how to date traditionally, then hey, go for the online thing, because there's so many people out there who feel the same way you feel. So that's just my take on online dating. It ain't for me, but it could be for anyone.
You have to be careful with that shit.
That too. And I watch the damn ID channel too much too, so that ain't no help.
She be watching too much motherfucking ID channel. Let me say this though.
But there's
all damn day I be at work.
Let me
work
throw
watching
this real
damn
quick for the
ID
people
channel.
listening, Rhonda, hold up before y'all. You can find Kovia, who has been doing hair this whole show. The whole show. If you're listening, she's been braiding all the last 2 hours. She about to get that paper, okay? At Covi Styles, COVISTYLES on IG. All right, next, let's go to Davila.
I really want to hear his story. Oh my goodness.
So the reason why I enjoy online dating, I think it's very beneficial, is because I was a very awkward boy growing up. It was hard for me to talk to women. I was really scared, insecure.
Yes.
And dating online kind of helped me, overcome that. Like I couldn't step up to somebody that looked like my wife, really hot.
Right? And some of the people you can pull online, you feel like you could never pull them in person, right?
Exactly. That's true. It gives you a different type of game.
A lot on fake though.
Hey man, that's okay with me as long as I get what I want. But and as far as being clever and stuff, you're right. It is definitely a lot of work. You get to create a different persona, but it helped me build a better person. I guess it helped me with negotiation tactics too. So I mean, that was pretty cool.
Okay.
It's a negotiation tactics.
Gary McGuire.
I'll end it with that.
Okay. All right. Next, Julian.
All right. Okay. Online dating. Okay, so final thoughts are it's good and it's bad. The biggest thing was I wanted to piggyback on what Sam said. It's like you really want to go in knowing what you want more than anything else. What it is that you're looking for, what it is that you like, what it is that you are open, and then more importantly, be open. Obviously, like things, but also be open when you're dating, because you're gonna find somebody that can, It's the same thing as dating in general, but now your pool is much larger, and it's like sifting through that is just so much more work. So it is a lot of work, but it's doable. I guess it really depends on where you are, what you're looking for. If you're looking to really date somebody, then you're going to do that kind of a work, or you're going to do that work elsewhere. You're going to go to those bars still, or you're going to, be looking for them at the mall, wherever the hell it is that you would be finding somebody. No matter what, you're going to put in that kind of work if that's something that you're looking for. But if you're doing it online, just know what exactly that you want and things. Just because there's the pool is so much larger that you're going to have. It's good if you know who you are. But I will say the game has changed, though. I will not lie, because I have been out of it for like almost a decade now, and like I'm getting back into it now. And Not even. That's the thing. Not even. I'm like, that's my point. I tried, and I'm like, I'm done with this shit because it's so different. It's so different than what it used to be. So like, my thing is just I don't have the patience for it now anymore. So it's like trying to drum up
and that's what it is. You gotta have patience.
Because that's dating, period. So whether you're doing it online, whether you're doing it in person, whether you're doing it, it doesn't matter. When you're starting a relationship with somebody, when you're building something with somebody, that's always going to be work. So know what you want so that you're doing the work properly, I suppose. But if you're doing it online, just be careful, I guess. But it's totally doable online. Know what you want, so you're doing it right. That's all.
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we head over to our next panelist for their final thought, I want you to
really fast. My decade-long relationship was started online, basically, and it started off technically as a hookup, and then became what it was.
Look,
so
let's be clear. I haven't met a gay dude whose longest relationship didn't start on a hookup. So
yeah, but also their longest relationships are usually like 3 months long. So slow down there.
My longest relationship was not 3 months. It was like 3 years.
Oh, okay, but it's not a decade, so that's a third of both of our lives. That's a third of both of our lives. Is all I'm saying.
I got shaded like on my own show.
All I'm saying is 30% is different from 10%. So
and he's still going. Okay. Anyway, we'll talk. I'll see you on Monday on Geeking Out. I'll see you on Monday. All right. You can find Julian on Geeking Out every other Monday on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. You can also find him on IG at Bad Juju. Bad spelled with 2 D's and Juju. All right. Let's hear the hot take everybody been waiting for. It's time for Rhonda's final thoughts, which I think is just going to be a segment, its own segment, I guess. Rhonda, what's your final thoughts about tonight's topic?
Okay. So, as I said, I'm widowed. I've been online dating for 2 years. I've married some good people, bad people, fucked up people, weird people. I met them all.
I want to hear about these weird ones. We'll talk.
Yeah. But anyway, when you're dating online, just always know that I have a buddy system. Somebody always know who I'm going with, the color of the car, the license plate, what I got on. Anyway, because at the same time, we get these people and we just feel like, they comfortable. I'm comfortable with them. No, don't do that. Don't do that. How should I say? I've got some good dates, some bad dates. And that's about it.
See, you did all that.
I could go on all night, but
we can. Last week we did an after show. That was fun. Okay, so that's
my generation different because I'm in my 50s, so a lot of men in their 50s they like younger women, so they online dating 25-year-olds, and you fucking 58. Where you going? Where you going? This is what I tell them. This is just to give y'all a good laugh. You know what I tell them? You 58. You need to get a bitch that's gonna go to the doctor with you, push you in the wheelchair, and help your old ass. That 25-year-old, guess what you doing for her? You're a sugar daddy. You can't do shit for her. So
I don't know if I would want a relationship with someone that young as me.
They do it. They doing it. Because guess what? Well, what happened in today's world? You got a lot. It's so competitive. It's real competitive.
It's become a lot more. It has become a lot more competitive. Like there's too much access. Than before, as far as dating goes, like too much access.
Because with online dating, James is nice looking. Okay, guess what? He got about like 50 bitches hitting him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look at he ain't denying it though.
Sam, she nice looking. All of y'all nice looking. So if you online dating, shit, you can pick and choose. I want a sugar daddy. I want me a gay friend. I want me a black friend, a white friend. It's there.
Someone is going to come and hit you up.
Yeah, you can pick and choose what you want.
A number of different people.
I found my sugar mama online when I was 20.
Yeah. And what's your name? Davila. You real?
We're from Georgia, bro. Like, I'm sorry, we're from Georgia.
I mean, all of us are nice looking, so you can pick and choose all day long. And the thing about it, I always say, be careful. This is for y'all young people. Use a condom.
What's a condom?
Pick and choose a condom. Don't play.
She looked into the camera like, boy,
and y'all talking about, oh, I'm just doing hookups and buddies. No, use a condom. It's okay. Sex is sex.
But don't use two.
One at a time.
Don't use two.
Please.
I don't know how that go, but
if you use two at once, oh, I know. We know. But if you use two at once, they'll burn through each other.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
The friction of
That's
they
nasty.
taught us that in sex ed in was it 8th grade, 9th grade?
I don't know, but that's nasty.
It's just what happens. All right, so now it's time for my final thoughts. My final thoughts were that this is my favorite show that we filmed thus far. Yes, because my auntie was here, and we also had a great panel. Everybody was here. Everybody turned up. It was interesting because I didn't know that James hated online dating that much. I didn't know a lot of things about a lot of people on the panel. I had a great time.
We gotta fix James. We gotta fix James though.
He's not broken, Rhonda. He just doesn't like online dating. He's not broken. Listen, this is what I say. I say this. As far as online dating goes, like for me, I feel like however you find the person that you're going to be with, it doesn't bother me. Like I'm not really I don't have a preference one way or the other. I'm socially awkward whenever it's time to not be socially awkward. So like if it's not important, I'm perfectly fine. But if it's important, I'm going to break something. I'm going to trip. I'm going to, I'm that dude, right? So online dating has pretty much saved me from ever having to I'm just not that guy. I can be that guy on online dating. He hates the persona. The persona for me, like people see something and they're like, oh, that guy's, he's cool. He's put together. He's intimidating. But like, I'm really just Steve Urkel. So for me, I think online dating.
No, you're not.
Yeah, mentally, that's exactly who I am. I've always been. Look, you don't remember when I used to have big old cheeks and a big belly? And then I got that baby picture.
We won't talk about it with everybody.
We'll talk about it, right.
Yeah.
But the point is, for me, he doesn't like the persona, but for me, it makes it easier to like convey what I want to convey without being awkward, if that makes any sense. Because in person, it's harder for me to convey that because I get nervous. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the times, some people need that online dating. You have to think about all these people who have never ever been in these relationships or never would have gotten into the relationship they got into without that. So online dating can be stressful, crazy, all that stuff, but it can also be very helpful.
Okay, but let me tell you this also.
Okay.
In my generation,
yes,
that's the only way we get in dates. Okay. An example is
through online dating, I think? Sorry.
Yes. I mean, that's the only way we get in dates. I saw a guy online, okay? He didn't say shit to me, nothing. I saw him in the store maybe a month later, and he kept eyeing me. Mm-hmm. But then he went back to Black People Meet, and he was like, did I just see you in the Piggly Wiggly on Jonesboro?
Not in the Piggly Wiggly.
I guess that was me, girl.
And the shit was so crazy because he didn't say anything to me at the Piggly Wiggly.
Right.
But he went back to online and said, I saw you.
Because it was comfortable. It's comfortable.
I'm saying people are not approaching you in my age group. They're not approaching you anymore like, hey, shawty, how you doing?
It's absolutely terrifying. I don't care what nobody say. No matter how fine you are, every person in the world is afraid of being rejected. Mm-hmm. So, and it's terrifying, especially because if you're willing to go up to that person, you really want them. You know what I'm saying? The fear of that knockdown.
They're not doing that no more.
Because they don't have to. They don't have to.
Everybody online. Everybody online.
But all right, y'all. Thank y'all for having a wonderful show. This was great. I enjoyed it. Wonderful. This was wonderful. And I want to remind y'all to come back and see us next week where we're going to be talking
You didn't put
about...
up my handle. You didn't put up my...
I didn't know you had no handles.
Y'all call me.
Okay. Girl, yes.
Whatever.
Hey, don't be doing my auntie like that.
Don't do that, Sam. Don't hop on her side. Don't hop on her side. If you'd like to be a panelist on an upcoming episode of Talk It Out, please hit us up at admin@woenellymedia.com.
And me and Sam, call me.
I'll make sure y'all got each other's information.
Also, Sam finna do the damn thing. We going out.
Don't do Sam.
If
I see one picture of my auntie on Facebook, don't do it.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Yes, going out. Yes, let's do it.
So also next week we're
well, hey, I'm just down the road. I'm in Columbus, so I want to go out too.
Okay, Sam. And Covia.
It's a whole party.
You in Columbia, South Carolina?
Columbus, Georgia.
No, I'm in Columbus, Georgia.
Girl, come on.
I just put my phone number in the chat box.
Why does this feel like the beginning of a Tyler Perry film? Okay, so we're logging out. My name is Durier Rashad, and I'm reminding you that Talk It Out is a place. Rhonda, shit, damn it, Rhonda. We're logging out tonight. My auntie done got lit. This is Talk It Out, where we get turned up and talk a lot of shit. Sometimes it's not always about proving who's right and who's wrong. Sometimes it's simply about listening and being heard. Y'all have a blessed evening.